My family can't say what happened because we were not there. But what I am going to say is he was left on the side of the road in the city that he ain't from. With no phone, no ID, no gun, no nothing. I was told that he was let out of, I was told that the car was brought to a complete stop and he was let out. Then I was told the car may have been going 25 miles an hour when he was let out. 25 miles an hour, you can't do 25 in the school zone. But you stopped and let him out at 25 miles an hour, the math ain't mathing. I just say 2 + 2 need to equal 4. Whatever happened. Even if you didn't do something to him, you responsible because we left him in your hands. You was with him. He loved you with everything in him. So to leave him in a city that he ain't from, on the side of a road, for him to be found and taken to the hospital under John Doe, because you weren't there. They caught him in the hospital under John Doe. We saw the hospital records. They say a couple on the side of the road stopped and the wife happened to be a nurse. Thank God for those people because they tried to save my cousin. They gave my cousin CPR and they tried to save my cousin, but you weren't there. At the end of the day, no matter what happened, you should have been there. Whether you did it, whether you didn't do it, whether it was an accident, whether it was on purpose, you should have been there. You should have been able to give us an accurate account of what happened, and you can't. The only people we knew in Jacksonville was you and him.
Imagine this. Someone you love, someone who means everything to you, just vanishes after a heated argument. The kind of argument that seems small at first but spirals into something bigger. But you think they'll cool off, right? Except this time, they don't come back. And the worst part, no one knows exactly why or how it all went down. If you're already hooked and want to dive deeper into stories like this that demand justice, hit that like button, subscribe to Alive, because missing out means letting these cases stay buried longer than they should. Let me introduce you to Tyrone Davis Jr., a man with a lot of love to give. To his family and friends, he was T2 or stepdaddy DRO, a devoted father, a hardworking truck driver, and a man who spent his days spreading positivity as a motivational speaker. He had a reputation for being the kind of guy who always put others first. But despite his good heart, his life was cut tragically short, and what happened leading up to his death raises more questions than answers. Tyrone was in a relationship with his girlfriend, Lulu, and they were spending time together at a cabin in Gainesville, Florida. What should have been a peaceful weekend getaway took a dark turn on Saturday afternoon when Tyrone and Lulu got into a serious argument. According to Lulu, Tyrone asked her to pull over and let him out of the car. She did just that, leaving him on the side of the road and driving away. She claimed to have waited 5 minutes at a nearby gas station, thinking Tyrone would walk over to join her. But when she returned, everything had changed. Tyrone was found unconscious, surrounded by ambulances and police officers. The girlfriend's story? It didn't add up. She told Tyrone's family that he had fallen and bumped his head at the gas station. But the truth was far worse. His injuries weren't from a simple fall. Tyrone had suffered blunt force trauma to his head, and his skull was fractured in multiple places. He had been left for dead on the side of the road. The family wasn't buying her story, and neither should we. Stick with me, because the details are about to get even more chilling. I'll now play the full live video from Tyrone's family, where they share their side of the story, their pain, and their demand for answers. You won't want to miss it.
I'm on here right now. I decided to go live, even though my family is hurting. We messed all the way up with all the emotions that's going on with us, but I decided that it's only right for me to get on here because Tyrone Davis Jr. drove that nigga, stepdaddy drove, we call him T2. However, y'all know my nephew. So many people got love for my nephew. Not only is he a blogger, he's a YouTuber, he's a motivational speaker, he gonna encourage you, he a counselor, he is that dude. When I tell you he drive trucks for a living, he ain't out here doing wrong. If y'all watch his page, y'all know he take care of his kids. He's a family guy, he's a family young man, and he got street friends, and guess what? He look at everybody, guess what, at the same level, because his heart always been good. To the little people, the big people, whatever you think you is, it's been good. So the way I feel, Y'all got a right to know about y'all family, because guess what? He is family to a lot of y'all out there. So for anybody in their right mind to say, why is they asking what happened, they got to need to go and examine themselves, because you don't even know his accomplishment and his legacy and on who he is. He like a superstar in our eyes. And guess what? For the main reason, they need to know what happened to T2. Just like we need to know what happened with T2. If y'all been on this page, you see he celebrated because he got a loving heart. And he loved Lulu, what it do till the grounds come home and the cows come home. And one thing I can say, he enjoyed her. He had celebrated with a good heart, gifts and loving and just doing things out the ordinary, unusual things to make her happy. Now I'm going to tell y'all this. For one, he was in that cabin all week till Saturday. So this is what we got. We only can tell you what we got. Y'all need to know. Y'all need to let us know what y'all think. Okay, he was in a cabin on Saturday about 4, 5 o'clock that afternoon. The Lulu chick said that guess what? She was riding in the car with him. They got into a disagreement and he told her to let him out. Now, one, don't get me wrong. I know she probably loved my nephew. I do know my nephew really loved her unconditionally. But let me tell y'all out here, whether she loved him, he loved her. It's a thin line between love and hate. It's a real thin line. So for one, if he told you to let him out the car and your message was you pulled on the side of the road and let him out the car and you pulled off and left my nephew in Gainesville, somewhere you and him the only ones there, no family, no people, no nothing. You left my nephew and you said you drove up to a gas station 5 minutes to wait. Maybe he needed to cool off. Maybe he needed to get time to himself to walk up. You thought he was going to walk up to that gas station where you was waiting on him at for 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, you see ambulance, you see police, you see ambulance, you see police, and you know something ain't right. So you get in your car and get back there to the scene with my nephew getting in on a stretcher, getting in the back of an ambulance. You throw him out and left him for dead. And if you didn't, that's how we feel. And if we wrong, Lord, forgive us, but reveal the truth. Not only that, your story changed, because guess what? You called the Mama Renee. And when you called the Mama Renee, you gonna tell Renee, oh, he fell at the gas station and bumped his head. How he fell at the gas station and bumped his head when you claimed to put him out of car. Okay, now the story changed again. This on Sunday morning, Renee drive up to Gainesville. The Davis family don't even know my nephew in the hospital. I gotta call it like it is. My Davis family don't even know that she got the call and call it like it is. Granny, Renee, I got love for you. You done lost 2 sons, and it's your last living son that just got his life taken. But she called you. You said you wasn't gonna call us because you wanted to get up there and see what happened once you got there. So you called my Charlotte and gave us the first story. The girlfriend told you he fell and bumped his head. That's what you said. So when Marshala got the call, she calling us in the Davis family to say, we got to take a drive and see what went on with my nephew. Guess what? I wasn't there. Y'all wasn't there. Lulu was there. And at the end of the day, nobody knows but God. And it's going to come forward. Not only that, the next story change. Again, come on, Natalie. Come join with me. Take that jacket off. Come join me. Not only that, the Davis family got there. They said he brain dead, trauma to the skull, the back of the skull, his blunt force trauma to his head. Something had to happen. It didn't happen falling out no car. It did not happen falling down no stairs. It did not happen the way they kind of make these different stories. And I ain't gonna say they is Lou. So not only that, you let him out, and at the end of the day, pulled off. You left him for dead. Why would you leave him? How did he end up at the hospital? And let me grant it, y'all. They found my nephew's body under a bridge on Archer Road, on the side of the road. They found my nephew under a bridge and said a car pulled up and he stepped out of the car and staggered and fell to the ground. How in the hell that you left my nephew and then found him under a bridge when ain't nobody under the bridge, Lord God? You guilty for that alone. It's not coincidence. Let me tell you something. If it walked like a duck, it talked like a duck, call Affleck. It's a goddamn duck. My cousin G-Boy said if a duck could pull a trunk, hook him up. Some foul play done happened to my nephew. We mourning. We grieving. We angry. He love on everybody. We love all people. You don't do people like that. And then for the ones say, what happened to him? Y'all need to know what happened to him. Some of y'all more family than his own goddamn family. We all are going through our own emotion. I'm finna get out of this phone because I'm getting emotional and I'm under a roller coaster. But I want y'all to know his whole skull was fractured. Fractured to the front, fractured to the back. So if you hit him in the back of the head, whatever rumor, whatever lifetime mystery, puzzle, whether it was an accident, then you say he stumbled out the car. Then you say he jumped out of the car. You was going 25 miles. Then you say he tripped on the feet as he was getting out. Accidents happen. But quit lying, Lulu. Tell us what happened to my nephew. If y'all was arguing and it started at the cabin, like you say, and however he ended up on the bridge, we need to freaking know. We need to know what's going on. It's not right. It's not right. We got a right to be angry. My brother Tyrone Davis got a right to be pissed off and angry by his goddamn son. This is a senseless death. Yeah, God know he was going to check out. But guess what? At the end of the day, decisions had to be made. He loved you, girl. And at the end of the day, if you're taking a side and you're blaming, you just as guilty as can be. You just as guilty as her. Because if you can't see it, Ray Charles can see it. If you ain't got nothing to conscience, tell the truth. What happened? God gonna reveal the truth. Them detectives gonna reveal the truth. My family don't even wish no hate on you for death. But I'm gonna tell you, your ass gonna pay for what happened to my nephew. And whatever the truth is, it is gonna come out. It don't make no sense. Now let's tell them what they told y'all. Woo! Woo!
Sister, you got it out. You got it out. It's different stories that have been told, man. We don't want to hear we don't want the phone call. She might talk after, but I don't want to do it right now. The story ain't adding up, and we just want the story to add up. We need 2 + 2 to equal 4. I can't say what happened. I wasn't there. My family can't say what happened because we were not there. But what I am gonna say is he was left on the side of the road in the city that he ain't from, with no phone, no ID, no gun, no nothing. I was told that he was let out of, I was told that the car was brought to a complete stop and he was let out. Then I was told the car may have been going 25 miles an hour when he was let out. 25 miles an hour, you can't do 25 in the school zone. But you stopped and let him out at 25 miles an hour, the math ain't mathing. I just say 2 + 2 need to equal 4. Whatever happened. Even if you didn't do something to him, you responsible because we left him in your hands. You was with him. He loved you with everything in him. So to leave him in a city that he ain't from, on the side of a road, for him to be found and taken to the hospital under John Doe, because you weren't there. They caught him in the hospital under John Doe. We saw the hospital records. They say a couple on the side of the road stopped and the wife happened to be a nurse. Thank God for those people because they tried to save my cousin. They gave my cousin CPR and they tried to save my cousin, but you weren't there. At the end of the day, no matter what happened, you should have been there. Whether you did it, whether you didn't do it, whether it was an accident, whether it was on purpose, you should have been there. You should have been able to give us an accurate account of what happened, and you can't. The only people we knew in Jacksonville was you and him. And you couldn't give us in Gainesville, and you couldn't give us an account of what happened. So right now, we go off of what we know. You saying everybody wrong for judging, everybody wrong for feeling some type of way. If something happened to the man I love, if I don't call nobody else, if I don't get in touch with nobody else, his family gonna hear from me before anybody. The hospital called his mama. You told me that. You didn't call his mama. You didn't call his daddy. You didn't call his grandma. You didn't call his auntie. Bitch, you sat at the hospital for 24 motherfucking hours with them people not talking to you. You told me out your mouth them people wouldn't tell you nothing. So you sat there for an hour, for a day, and ain't let them people tell you nothing? And ain't called nobody who could have got the answers that were needed? You sat there for 24 hours. This happened on Saturday. On Sunday, the hospital called his mama. Not you, the hospital.
I'm going to give it back to you. And let me back it up, y'all. Even in the midst of Renee going up there, and they make it to the hospital. This on Sunday now. The accident or whatever happened on Saturday at 5 o'clock. So now Renee find out Sunday morning she go to Gainesville. Marshala got the call, tell the family. They went in 6 carloads deep to Gainesville. Even in Gainesville at the hospital, she said she had to leave to go back to the cabin to get their belongings. So she left the hospital with the mama there before Davis could get up there and went back to the cabin to apparently get their stuff. My sister called the cabin man who rented it out. And what he said was he heard about an incident that happened in the cabin. Come on out here, I'll tell you about it. I don't want to talk on the phone, and I'll talk to the police too. They went and did their own investigations at the cabin, and the man said he got a call from one of the other neighbors at the cabin because there's no video about an argument they heard and got so heated, and they said the young lady seemed to be the aggressor. They walked around to the cabin to see what was going on, and they only found by the time they got there it calmed down. They never saw Dro in sight, they never saw T2 in sight, but they saw her with that boot on her leg, because you got a broke ankle, that boot on your leg, dragging them belongings from the cabin to the car, from the cabin to the car. My nephew love you so much you won't even drive, Lulu. You don't even drive. He said, get on the back seat. I pick you up. I told you, you don't drive. You get on the back seat and lay down so your ankle that was broken can stay healed. That's how he take you, carry you like a princess. Okay, the man told my sister she never came back to this cabin. I rented it out on Saturday. The moment they left, somebody else checked in. She never came back and got their belongings because she already had their belongings. Let me tell you, it ain't making no sense. My nephew's skull was fractured so bad. They say the trauma that hit him, that blunt force, broke his skull and caused pieces to go to the front of his temple on both sides. On both sides. Sound like a Hennessy bottle to me, or it sound like something with trauma force that can do your head like that in the back of your head, his back and his head. So let me tell you something. I don't know, and I don't care who don't like my live or who got something to say about Tasha why you did that, because I needed to do that. At the end of the day, nobody ain't in her shoes. We getting attacked back to back. Yes, it is God will. Yes, it's already written. God know how he was going to check out before he left here. But guess what? Somebody need to be held accountable for your actions.
As Tyrone's family drove to Gainesville to find out what happened, the story just kept changing. First, they were told Tyrone had simply fallen and bumped his head at the gas station. But when they arrived at the hospital, the truth was far worse. Tyrone had suffered blunt force trauma to the back and front of his skull. His injuries weren't from a fall. They were the result of something much more violent. The family immediately felt something was off. How could Lulu, someone who supposedly loved him, leave him behind on the side of the road in a place he wasn't familiar with? Why wasn't she there when Tyrone was being rushed to the hospital? They soon discovered that Lulu's story didn't add up. She had told multiple versions of the events, each one more inconsistent than the last. But it wasn't just the lies that disturbed the family. It was the way Tyrone was found. Under a bridge, a place that no one had mentioned before. A passerby claimed to have seen him staggering out of a car, but the family was certain this was no accident. There was too much evidence pointing toward foul play. Tyrone's family had questions that needed answers, and they weren't backing down. They wanted to know what really happened that afternoon in Gainesville, and they were determined to find out, no matter what. As the family pushed for the truth, they uncovered even more troubling details. Lulu had never returned to the cabin after leaving Tyrone. Neighbors reported hearing a heated argument, and a witness even mentioned seeing her dragging her belongings out of the cabin, but there was no sign of Tyrone. The more they dug, the clearer it became that something very wrong had taken place. Now, the family is demanding justice, and they won't stop until they get it. Tyrone's death isn't just another statistic. It's a senseless tragedy that could have been avoided. And the search for the truth is only just beginning. What do you think happened to Tyrone Davis Jr.? Was it a tragic accident, or something much darker? Leave your thoughts in the comments, share this video, and make sure to subscribe to She's Alive Like This One. This is far from over.